What's going on, guys? Hopefully you've enjoyed the video so far revolving around my saddle hunting setup. In this video, I want to talk about something that I don't know that guys have kind of jumped off the bandwagon or jumped on the bandwagon for saddle hunting, or if it's a fad or what it is. But I want to talk about something I don't hear a lot of guys talk about, and that is saddle versus lock-on. Alright, so in today's video, like I said, I want to talk about saddle versus lock-on, and I want to talk about some cons, some pros and cons on both. So this is my Lone Wolf Assault 2. This is the lock-on stand that I use a lot on like hanging hunts on public land. I've been using this tree stand for 2 or 3 years now, and I've really enjoyed it. Actually, it might have been 3 or 4 years. But anyway, love this tree stand, haven't had no issues with it. This is my new setup, and if you can, I know you can tell, I'll set this on the seat. You can tell the difference there in size of the platform versus the tree stand. And the reason I don't have my actual safety harness out here is because I feel like that's a non-factor, because you've got the saddle or you've got a harness, both of which weigh about the same. So we'll talk about size and weight of the systems, and we'll leave the saddle out of it because my harness and my saddle relatively weigh about the same. All right, so one pro to a saddle hunting setup versus a lock-on is size and weight. I think this stand here fully set up's like 11 pounds and something with the strap and all. This here, I don't know exactly what it weighs, but it is, I mean, night and day difference in weight. Less importantly is the weight, but more importantly is the size. When you're going way back in there, guys, or if you're going through thick stuff, it is super nice to have something that's small and compact to your back. So that's the biggest pro for me, is just the compactness of a saddle hunting setup. And that's why I enjoy it so much. I've been using this pretty much exclusively, this tethered Phantom and Predator setup this year. And I've really enjoyed it, guys. I've used it on public land, I've used it on private land, short hikes in, long hikes in, and I've really enjoyed it. I still use the lock-on. I haven't used it yet this year, but I'm getting ready to leave for Ohio public. I probably won't use it there, but I will be using it in Kentucky more than likely. So let's talk about a couple of pros and cons between the two. Like I said, pro for the saddle setup is size, weight, and just how compact it is. Pro for the tree stand is comfort, depending on what type of tree stand you've got. It's also something that you can set up and leave in the tree, and just climb up and go. Like if you've got some private land or something, you're going to set up a bunch of places to hunt. I would set up tree stands, just me personally. Let's talk about a con real quick for the saddle hunting setup. The biggest con for me so far has been just getting used to the form and following through my shot and getting a good stable shot out of a saddle versus a tree stand. And I think that just comes with time. I think I've hunted out of tree stands so long that I just got comfortable in my form. I got comfortable in how I was going to take my shot. Another thing with the saddle setup is there's a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to setting up on the tree when you're used to setting up as far as on trails, the way you're going to hunt the deer. The way you set up a tree stand, you almost want to set it up completely opposite with a saddle. So with a tree stand, most of the time you're facing away from the tree. Saddle setup, you're facing towards the tree. You want to set your saddle set up in a way where when the deer are coming up, you have a shot to your strong side, which for me would be my left. That's how you ultimately want to set that up. I would also set up the tree stand where I had shots on my strong side. That's not a big deal, but when you start adding the camera into the mix, I had a lot of issues to begin with. I had a muddy camera arm. I ended up just now, I got the fourth arrow Talon, I think is what it is. It's the micro arm. It's a 3-way jointed arm, and that's where I really like that setup now for filming. But it took a little while to get used to how to set the platform up in a way where it was going to make filming easy and shooting easy. Another thing with the platform and the saddle in general is just getting used to the bridge hanging down and how you need to turn to make shots, how you want to get your knees up against the trees to make shots. So it's easy to start getting into it, but you really need to take the time, guys, to get used to your form and shooting from a saddle, because for me, that's the biggest con, is just the learning curve of learning how to shoot from a saddle and be accurate and to be repeatable and consistent in your form. So a con for a tree stand, like I said, size and weight. And I think, honestly, for me, I'm more comfortable in my saddle setup all day sits than I was sitting in this little Lone Wolf Assault 2. This tree stand is not known for being very comfortable. It's just more of a compact option out of tree stands for guys that want to go way back in. Another con for a tree stand is, I think, you're more open in a tree stand, because more times than not, you're going to sit there facing away from the tree. You can set it up where you're on the back side of the tree from where you think the deer are coming, but most guys are going to set it up on the front. And as I'm filming and stuff, I just feel like I'm wide open, versus when I'm in my saddle setup, I can get behind the tree from where I think the deer are going to come, and I just feel like I'm covered up more, and I can kind of conceal myself in my movement a little better. So that's really kind of it for me. Size and weight is a big deal. How compact the saddle setup is a big deal. So for me, it's not saddle over tree stand. It is using the saddle in certain situations and using the tree stand in certain situations. For me, I will say this, I won't be using a regular harness anymore. I've noticed that, especially on all-day sits, that harness kind of seems to make me pull my shoulders forward, and it makes me super stiff over the course of a day. What I'm planning on doing is, when I do use my regular tree stand here, I'm going to still use my saddle as my harness. That's what I'm going to try this year. I've seen other guys doing it, and that's the plan. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've got something out of it. If I had to choose between the two, I'm going to choose the saddle and the platform all day long, I think, just based off of my hunting experience so far this year. So take it for what it's worth. I've only been doing it for part of a season now, so I still don't have all my kinks worked out, but that's kind of the route that I'm going for now. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching my videos. Please go support the channel by going on our website, bcreekgear.com, and checking out the website. Get a hat, a t-shirt, stickers, whatever it may be. And remember that your purchases on our website support conservation. Go check out the guys at Grafton Archery. They'll get you set up on anything archery. And yeah, guys, appreciate you watching. Good luck out there this year. And remember to live your life to the fullest and use your passions to bless others. We'll see you on the next video.